The 10 F1 teams have 10 more races in 2023 to wrap up their season. Every team will be looking to achieve some key goals before the end of the year, so what change should your favourite team make in the rest of 2023? Let's have a look. My name's Andy and this is Behind the Drive. Alfa Romeo hold on for Audi. It feels like Alfa Romeo are in a position of limbo as they wait for Audi to come on board in 2026. The team is not performing too well this year, with the drivers scoring a total of 9 points to this point in the season. With the Alfa Romeo title sponsorship ending for 2024, the key goal for Sauber should be to get the team into the best possible position before Audi arrives in 2026. I assume there will be some Audi support and influence in the meantime, given they're already a minority stakeholder in the team, and there are rumours of this already, with them reportedly signing a pre-agreement with Carlos Sainz. This kind of move for a race-winning driver shows their intent. They are clearly a team looking to become a midfield challenger and will have an eye to replicate Aston Martin's move up the order in the future. But in the meantime, it feels like this team is going into no man's land. They may struggle to compete until the new power unit regulations of 2026, and so it'll be about making shrewd driver lineup and technical personnel appointments whenever they can in the meantime. For me, Alfa Romeo's success this year is going to be limited. Opportunities are few and far between for the drivers in 2023, and so whenever they get the chance to get points, they will need to take it. This could well mean that they find the way to catch up to Haas or Williams in the fight to be the best of the bottom four, but they are very much in this bottom group and are unlikely to challenge much higher this season and potentially for the coming years. AlphaTauri establish what is next for this team. AlphaTauri's position on the F1 grid is due to come to an end this year. What this means is not yet known at the time of recording, but there are reported opportunities for Hugo Boss or Orland to come on board. The team is not due to be sold in its entirety, despite a reported billion-dollar offer for the 10th place team on the grid. However, the Red Bull-owned organisation is due to change significantly in the coming months. Ferrari's former race director, Laurent Mekies, will be taking over from Franz Tost as the team principal from the start of next season, which will see the team take a very different look compared to today. Tost has been the team's boss since 2006, and he's the second longest serving team principal on the grid. So to move him on shows the intent of the team, and what happens next could be transformative for the team. With the team's ownership still in the Red Bull group, the position of this team will be interesting to figure out. Will they go back towards being a sister team to Red Bull and working together, or will they become even more independent? The dynamic between the two will be one to watch, as obviously the Red Bull car is the best on the grid, and so if this team can take as many legal parts as possible from them, they could take a big step up the order next year. As for the rest of this year though, the AlphaTauri car is the worst on the grid, so there will be few opportunities for their drivers, but if they can show some confidence going into 2024 and beyond, this rebrand of the team could be a shake-up for the grid. Alpine figure out what the team is trying to achieve. Alpine is in a difficult position going into the summer break. They've just dropped their team principal, Otmar Safnauer, and their sporting director, Alain Permain. This is in addition to Laurent Rossi, the team's former CEO, that was moved on to other projects recently as well. Since rejoining the sport in 2016, Renault have had a difficult time being consistent midfield performers, but rarely stepping onto the podium. You can see how the move to rebrand the team in 2021 to Alpine was a move to reset the team, but it clearly isn't working. To see Aston Martin and McLaren make significant progress in 2023 and break into the immediate chasing pack of the top teams must be difficult for Alpine. The leaders of that team were given little time following McLaren's mid-season progress, which implies that there is very little confidence within the team to say that Alpine will be the next to make a step forward. This is concerning, and you could argue that dropping the team principal midway through the year isn't a sensible move, particularly given he'd only been with the team for 18 months. Alpine are reportedly not in a hurry to sign a new team boss, and this is sensible. Realistically, this team is going to end up 6th in the constructors' standings based on the form and the pace of the cars. So while they have their position secured, they can take the time to ensure that they make the correct signing or appointment to give them the best possible chance to rebuild and progress their way back up in the coming seasons. So for me, they need to take this half to figure out what's happening and where they need to go next. Aston Martin changed their trajectory. Aston Martin lost their way following Alonso's last podium finish at the Canadian Grand Prix. A combination of the Silverstone-based team falling back and the McLaren team moving forward resulted in the Aston Martin cars struggling. It's been reported that Aston Martin have taken the wrong direction in terms of their car development, which is easily done this early on in the regulations. Now they've understood their changes and what's gone wrong, they should be able to rectify these issues quickly and therefore get back on track. For this reason, I think Aston Martin needs to change their trajectory going into the second half. They're currently third in the constructors' standings, and it feels like McLaren's trajectory was suggesting that the papaya team might even be able to get ahead by the end of the year. Of course, Aston Martin has a huge cushion and are a long way ahead, so they should be able to hold on to this position ahead of both Ferrari and McLaren. And if they hold on to third, then I think that they can call this year a clear success, given they were 7th in the standings last year. Ferrari figure out the strategy issues. There was a change at the top for Ferrari in the off-season, but their new team boss has not yet reduced the damage that has been done by strategic blunders of the past. It's the Italian team's biggest weakness, and it often costs them points. Their drivers seem to have grown increasingly frustrated with these issues, and I think that they need to overcome this strategic issue to be a top challenger once again. The Italian team had a dreadful start to their 2023 season with several reliability issues and strategic errors. Right now though, I think the strategic blunders have left their drivers disillusioned and are at a risk of losing them in the coming years if they don't solve it. I would say that Ferrari have had some of their best performances in the last few races, with Leclerc taking a podium in Austria and Belgium, so they need to find a way to keep that going whilst not making tactical errors. Haas sort their engine issues. Haas are part of the bottom 4 in 2023 and are currently on the same number of points as Williams. This isn't great, but I think their biggest issue is power unit reliability. The Haas has proven to be quick in qualifying, but is much slower in the race. And one of the things that has been causing issues are various power unit related problems. Given Ferrari and Alfa Romeo use the same power unit, there may be some issues with cooling or a mechanical issue that Haas have in their car, which is resulting in these retirements. A cooling related issue could explain why they're so strong in terms of one-lap pace, but much slower in the races where they have to run slower. But whatever the problem is, it's been costing Haas this year. While they're facing these problems, they could well be in the race to be the best finisher of the bottom 4 teams given their level with Williams at the time of recording. If they achieve that, then I think that they'll be in the best place possible going into next season. McLaren consistently be in the top 3 teams. McLaren's progress has been unbelievable through this season. They've been the second best team at some races and have taken the challenge to the likes of Mercedes, Ferrari and Aston Martin. Their job in the second half of the year is to keep it going. It would be easy to set McLaren a target to get ahead of Ferrari or Aston Martin in the Constructors' Championship, but I think the more important factor is momentum going into 2024. If they want to become a top team, I think they need to consistently be in the top 3 teams for the last 10 races of 2023. They've already shown that they're capable of being the second best team at different circuit types, such as Silverstone and Hungary, so it'll be interesting to see if they can maintain this development path going into the rest of the season. Mercedes figure out their car. Mercedes have had issues in 2023. They've changed their car concepts, and they've actually been one of the most consistent performers out of the 10 constructors. For me, it's important for Mercedes to figure out the car and find a way to take a step forward. It's the second year in a row where they seem to have designed a car that's more comfortable running very close to the ground. They can't achieve that without the porpoising returning. Being a consistent performer is good, but Mercedes have continued to be unable to compete with Red Bull, so I believe they need to keep developing their car through the rest of the year and secure second in the championship to give them confidence going into the 2024 season. Red Bull break as many records as possible. Red Bull are in a very rare position in Formula 1. They have the strongest car by a long way and basically have both championships wrapped up already. I think Red Bull's goal for the rest of the year needs to be to continue to break as many records as possible. Verstappen is on track to match Vettel's consecutive win record at the next race in Zandvoort, and the team are on track to win every single race in 2023 right now. If they achieve that, then this car would be one of the greatest ever. Similarly, they could be on to score more points than ever in both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. I would want to say that Red Bull's goal should be to lock in this performance benefit for 2024, but that's starting to feel inevitable already. Williams continue to gain efficient downforce. Williams is another team that's making great progress this year. They're on track to be the best of the bottom 4 teams this season, and that's down to the fact that they've developed their car incredibly efficiently. They've managed to maintain their straight line performance while increasing downforce, and this has led to Albon scoring 10 points in the last 5 races. I think they will want to maintain this momentum going into the second half, as I believe a 7th place finish in the Constructors' Championship would certainly represent a successful year in 2023, given their new leadership at the top. I think this will be their focus for the rest of the year as James Vowles tries to ensure that the team makes progress back towards the 21st century in terms of their car development approach. So those are the changes each team should make to call this year a success. Let me know what you think in the comments.